And I'm going to give you a bit of a rundown. This is my first episode of kind of building a Powerwall. I'm going to give you a bit of a rundown on how I'm building my Powerwalls, basically, or how I'm building my packs that will eventually go into my Powerwalls. So I've already processed a couple of packs, as you can see. These are actually to test. These did not charge below capacity. These are 1,600 milliamps hours to 2,000, and these are 2,000 and above. I'm probably going to use, once I've got a couple of packs, I'm aiming for 14 packs. I'm going to use the repacker on the DIY Powerwalls website, or probably randomly put these together and try and make sure that the milliamp hours between all of my packs is as evenly distributed in the 2,000 plus range as possible. The plan then is for everything in there to use the 1,600 milliamp hour packs into 2,000 milliamp hour packs, just to have those in there and then take them out as I get more of these type of packs. And so I guess I wanted to firstly talk about why I put together these packs, because I guess for coming into it initially, and I've only come into it recently, it was just trying to figure out why people do. Why people put together packs like this and how it works. So I'm aiming for 90 cells in my packs. What I'm going to do is, so the nominal voltage on these, I think, is about 3.9 volts, and the optimal is like 4.2. So for every pack in, you put, so for all of these will all be connected along the top together. So positive and positive, positive and positive, positive and positive. And then all the negatives connected. I'll have a bus bar coming out here, and then probably another bus bar coming out at the bottom down here. And those will provide my positive and negatives. And this pack will provide then at, around 3.9 to 4 volts. For every pack I put in series of this, that adds the voltages together. So the plan is to get up to 50, 60 volts. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, and then for those to connect to the inverter. So I'm aiming to have 14 packs in series and 90 cells in parallel. So that's why when people talk about 14S 19p, that's what I'm doing, and that can be 14S 70p. It's really, I guess, it's just personal choice on how many you want to put in a pack. So, to give you an idea, what I initially do is I get the cells. I'm currently getting them from eBay, and I generally make sure I don't pay over £2 a pack. From reading the forums, that's probably a bit much, but I want to get started. I'm a web developer, so I can't be bothered going and chatting to people in shops. It just works, I've got some money, so it's not the end of the world. £2 a pack is not the end of the world for me. So what I do initially is and I'm not doing this a good way, I should definitely be wearing gloves. You can see from my hands that they're cut to shit at the moment, but oh well. I get my screwdriver, I put it under the label, and what you do is you get a pack like this, and this generally has bits of plastic running across like this. So I get the screwdriver under those bits of plastic, pull them up a bit, get my pliers, pull them off, and then you get the packs out like this, and then I just try to get into them, really. It's not rocket science. So once I pull them out of here, I put them into a cell holder just to keep them neat and tidy. And in here, that's it, really. They just sit here. They just sit here until I'm ready to put them into my charger. So when I'm getting ready to put them into my charger, I give them an ID, which I put in which I have in an Excel spreadsheet, and I record the initial voltage by basically putting the battery between the positive and negative here, testing it, get the voltage that comes out, and then I'll show you in my spreadsheet how it works. So if you can see on here, I've got the battery ID here, and then the initial voltage, and I write the source. To be honest with you, the source is probably superfluous at the moment because everything I'm doing is laptop batteries. And then I get the cell type. Basically, I go to the DIY Powerwalls website. If I show you on here. And the address for here is diypowerwalls.com/celldatabase.php. I get the battery type of here. For this one, it's CGR18650C. So I do a find in here, and it basically finds it. I open it up in a new tab, and I get the battery information. Oh, sorry, you got a bit of finger there. And this says it's 2150 milliamp hours. So I put this into a cell data lookup table, which has basically just the cell ID and the milliamp hours. And then I have a lookup here, which once I put the cell type in here, it gets the manufacturer capacity. I then also write down the remove date. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm just doing it, to be honest with you. I've taken other people's good habits that I've seen on YouTube, and I'm basically just copying them. It might be right, it might not. Put the test date in. I then put the charge test, the volts from. Actually, no, sorry. This bit I don't do. This bit I do. So I've got the initial voltage here. I then put them into my charger with the ID on, and then this bit comes after once it's done the charge-discharge tests. So to give you a show of how the charger works, this is the Opus BTC 3100 or 3100, and this seems to be, from the forums, the best charger to do this. So I put it in. It provides a range of initial voltages. Now I could put these into my spreadsheet, but I've got 2 other chargers there at the moment. So I kind of wonder if they give different voltage rate readings. So I want to have a standard reading across all of them. So that's why I use the multimeter. So basically it goes in here. I then press slot until they're all blinking. And as you can see here, I press mode. And so it goes to charge test. And then I put the milliamp hours up to 1,000. And then, so what this will do is this will charge it up, discharge it, charge it up, discharge it. It takes about 7 hours. And then basically, if I click display across, you'll start to see on this screen, on the screen labeled MAH, you'll start to see numbers pop up. And those are your milliamp hours that the battery's kind of rated to. I'll start flashing down, I pull them out, and then from there, I put them into this charge test spreadsheet. I record the initial voltage again with my multimeter, put the milliamp hours in, and then I've got basically a counter at the side which says the number of days to test, so I test it. I then put in the date it was tested, because I might not do it on time, I'm pretty lazy, and then I put in the voltage again from my multimeter. And the reason I'm doing this is to check that the voltage here is not too different to the voltage here, and therefore that the battery isn't self-discharging. So that's great. As I said, I put them into these packs, and that's really it for the moment. I guess my plan so far is to have fuses on both sides of the cell. You know, sometimes you hear about people talking about one side or the other. I think just, sod it. I'm spending all the time to do this, and it's a long amount of time to do it, so I might as well do it properly and have have fuses on both sides. But I'll record that in another video once I've actually got one pack together. I think with all these packs I should be able to do that. And the other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to just give you some idea of the statistics so far for doing this. So if you have a look here, I've so far gone through 192 cells. If I can show you better on here, 192 cells, 45 of them just wouldn't charge from the start. So those are probably candidates for later for, giving them a bump charge. I don't know whether I'll do this at the moment, but, we'll see. I might just sell them on eBay because I've heard that people can do that and people will pay money. So 46 below minimum viability. So that means they just weren't good enough, to be honest with you. 22 of those have gone into the standard pack, which is the one I was saying was 1,600 to 2,000 milliamp hours, and then the high power pack is 79, so that's the 2,000 and above. And that's really it. That's kind of where I'm up to. So tune in next time, and I'll hopefully get some better video recording skills and give you a bit more of an update. Cheers.